I'm going to show you how to paint this lovely floral painting inspired by the artist Melissa Dotty. You can see a link to her Instagram in the description. So if you click right over here and become a Createful Art member, you get the reference photo to help you paint along. You can use the reference photo and a pencil to sketch it. You do not have to paint this exactly how I have painted this. I hope that this inspires you and you want to get creative with it. So for this project, you can see that I'm using a panel. Now, if you don't have an artist panel, you can use a canvas and you can even use paper for this project. I'm just going to be using a few brushes. I'm going to use this brush to cover a lot of my surface area, a round brush, okay, my flat brush. I might want to do some splattering just because that's kind of me, and I got a palette knife here. You can grab some of your water. This is a really cool cup that I have on my website, createfulart.com, if you want to have a paint mug like this. Okay, and that's all you need to get started besides your acrylic paints. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use saturated colors. So saturation just means that you're going to be using these colors straight from the tube and not mix them very much with other colors, because then that dulls them down, okay? Now, I'm not going to choose your colors for you. I want you to be creative in this step and choose your favorite colors. What you want to do though is you want to have like a lighter value, so a couple middle values, and a couple really dark values. And if you mix this with black, you're going to dull the color down, okay? So very important, use the colors that you have. If you just have like 4 colors or 5 colors, then just use those for your artwork. That's no problem whatsoever, okay? Now you can get an art lesson right over here on keeping your colors saturated, what saturation means, and get weekly art lessons and more art lessons that are going to teach you the art lingo and the how-tos and the whys behind the decisions artists make. So go ahead and click right there if you want some weekly art lessons. So if you turn your paints over, you can see that they say opaque, or they're going to say transparent. Okay, this is an opaque one, this one's transparent. Now, any of your colors that are transparent, you're going to want to make them opaque. So these 2 colors that I have on my palette, okay, that are transparent, I'm going to mix them with an opaque color, okay? So I'm probably going to mix this one that's opaque with this one because it's transparent. And I can take this one and mix it with this dark one because I want to keep some dark colors. You know, see I have these 3 dark colors. And I can also make the color opaque with some white, okay? So you want to do that, otherwise you're going to be able to see the colors underneath. And the way that she paints is with opaque colors, okay, that are very solid. Okay, so for this step, we're going to paint the vase. Choose whatever base color you want for yours. Okay, now I'm going to off-center it. So over here, here's the middle point. I'm going to off-center it so that it reaches the middle, a little bit past the middle, but it's mostly on the left here, okay? So there'll be more space on the right, less space on the left, okay? And then I'm going to separate my canvas here into thirds, my panel, okay? And I want to have it just right there where that would start on that third area, okay? So I'm just going to be doing some brush strokes here. They're like this. Okay, I'm going to leave some negative space in there. And then I'm going to go opposite, center here. And I'm going to do that again. So it's kind of like a designed, pretty designed vase. So another thing you can do is just add some dots right up here. So you want to let this dry because we're going to put some flowers over it, and we want those flowers to not mix in and move this color around. So now I'm gonna take two of my colors that are complementary colors. And if you don't know what your complementary colors are, go ahead and click right over here and get my art lessons again. So I'm going to do that to create a gray. And it's either gonna be a warm or a cool gray, but it's going to be a harmonious gray because I'm using my colors here to create it, okay? So I added some white to my gray to take the value down. And this is a combination of that color, that color, that color, and that color. And I just was working it to see if this is what I liked, and it was a little too warm, so I added some cool colors to it. So that's what this color kind of changed it over to the gray. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my flat brush, and I wanna make sure that I create a really straight horizon line. So if you need some tape for that, go ahead and grab some tape. And you want to paint a line across, and you're gonna leave some space right there. Right, so you want the side of the vase to have some white. And gray always has a tint towards another color, so don't worry about it being a perfect gray. There is no such thing. It will change with the colors that are next to it too. So notice how I use the side of my brush to get a straight line. Okay, now I'm going to do that on the same, or on the other side. I want it to be right where that other one is. Now having a gray or a dull color, just one that you've created with your colors, makes all the other colors pop. Okay, so even though we're mostly going to be using all these colors through here that are saturated, we need to have something to be a reprieve for the viewer so that it's not too intense. Okay, I am so ready for this next step. So what you want to do is you want to take your round brush and you're going to grab a color. I'm going to grab this one, and you're going to go in a swirly motion. Don't be afraid to go over, okay? So I'm gonna just kind of swirly, very quick motion here. I'm gonna do that, let that dry, and I'm gonna do that again right over here, but a smaller, rounder little flower of some sort. Okay, notice how I'm leaving the centers white. I'm gonna grab a different color. And this is totally just free flow, fun, happiness. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab my light pink here. And I'm just gonna add some some petals coming right in here. Okay. Now I'm going to focus a little bit on going between these brushes to create some leaves, and then I'll go over those leaves with some of the petals and stuff. So I'm going to grab my green here, and I want to make sure I have a dry brush because I don't want this to be translucent at all. So start at the edge here, just bring in some shapes. Okay, notice how I twist the brush to bring in that shape. Twist the brush. Okay. This one I'm going to point it and then come in and twist the brush at the bottom to make that type of leaf. Okay, I'm going to come over here, make a round leaf. Right. So most of the leaves are going to be around here, some down here. Okay, and because I'm using heavy body paints, there's going to be texture to mine. If you're using soft body, it'll level out and be flat. Okay, close to my rose here, I'm going to point out and twist, 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 come back in. Okay, And I'll do that again. And have some coming over this. Oh, grabbed a little too much. Coming in here with some lines that show their stems. Doesn't even have to really connect. Okay, overlapping is always a good thing because leaves overlap and you're not going to see a difference in dimension here because they're the same color, but we can add more later. While those dry, I'm going to get out my yellow here, just grab another color, and we're gonna get some background in these flowers here. So I'm just gonna create some little tiny sporadic flowers and overlap some stuff here. Bowls of flowers right here. I mean, honestly, you could even do whatever type of flower you want, honestly. Any type of shape. I'm gonna make a brush stroke to start my other flower here and just kind of following along on one of hers that I really like, but not copy it exactly. And a little in here. And a little. Now, if I go over some, you can see that going over with another color mixes as well as if I touch that other color, it's gonna start blending. So I'm trying to avoid it in some ways. So I'm just gonna come in here with a color and get this some dimension in here. So I just want to have some of the orange. It's not one of the big colors that I'm designing with, it's just kind of a on the side color. All right, while these are drying, you can work on the outer part of your painting, okay? So we're using a technique that's basically blocking in, and we're blocking in these shapes. And so I'm gonna go right up to that edge, and I'm using my purple, but you can use whatever color you want. Dark blue, black. I'm using a dark color so that these stand out and that it's kind of a high contrasted thing. So I'm gonna go around my shapes here, but I'm also going to leave some areas that I haven't touched. And when I go over it some more with other flowers and stuff, I'll try to get rid of all the white at that point. This kind of shapes the vase, so you have to be careful that you don't mess up the shape of the vase. I'm just going to show you a little bit how I'm going around these shapes. And it doesn't have to be perfect, there can be some white. See how that works? And you can always go over some of your purple too, you know, because this is kind of hanging out there, not connected. So I'm basically deciding where I want this purple to be. Through this area, I'm just gonna have a little bit of purple come in. So some random brush strokes here on the top, go up next to these. And looks like you're gonna be able to see my brush strokes because I'm using this kind of paint. So I'll have to go over with another layer. And then in here, add some purple just to fill in this area. Okay, I'll go down to my round brush to get some long skinny things. Okay, we'll let this dry and then add another layer. All right, so now we're gonna bring this color into the leaves. They should be dry. You might hear my kids in the background because they are around having fun. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my small round brush and take some of that blue. Make sure your brush is dry and add some veins to your leaves. Okay, and it doesn't have to be super detailed. And I will add in some blue up here like it's part of the leaves. Okay, so cover some of this white with the blue. Put some in here. Just overlapping, so adding some right in here along the green. So just take some time to add in some veins, to add some other little leaves. Be creative with it. So now I'm going to grab some different colors in here, and I'm just going to be adding on top, filling in some of these layers in here, okay? So I'm gonna choose from the different colors. So I haven't actually used this dark red right here, and I can start filling in some of the areas. So just play around. You can try different brush strokes by using different brushes. See how that works. Okay, and then it just starts forming because you have lots of different colors and contrast and shapes in here. See, and it's really strong and saturated. So I'm going to show you this step a little bit more in detail because this is how it all comes together, okay? And it's important to see that it's about the layers here that create such a beautiful saturated painting. So I can go a little bit more and make this bigger and cover up some of that white area. It just works out perfectly. I can grab some green here and just kind of have some stem type looking thing coming out right there. You know, this is a really creative step. I haven't used this color yet, this medium magenta that I decided to use. So I just come in here and add some of that in this area to just add some dimension. And it's starting to like fill in this bouquet. So you can go over some of your leaves. Some blobs. Blobs are always fun. Okay, and if you feel like you want some more structure in your painting, like you feel like there's too many of the same shapes, just come in here and add a round shape over some of your rectangular shapes, okay? So you don't want to mix a lot because you're gonna end up having muddy colors. Okay, you're gonna start seeing that a lot of your white is gonna go away because you're going over it. I'm gonna create some texture over here, and I can do that with splattering. And I'm taking my blue color that's in here, and I'm just gonna add a little splatter. This is all about personal preference. You just keep going until you are absolutely in love with your painting. Different kind of flowers. Okay, at this point, you're now ready for like the final touches. And because I did this vase white, I'm gonna add in just a little bit of white in areas to kind of pull it together. Yay, you finished a floral. I am so proud of you. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for creating with me. If you want to get weekly art lessons that help you become a better artist, go ahead and click right here. Make sure you're subscribed and you have hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified whenever I make a new free tutorial. And you can watch more videos right here, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.